Welcome back to Attitude Effort Results presented by Teamwork Online and the Clubhouse. We're getting close. We're getting really close to our 2 years of Attitude Effort Results. It is absolutely absurd that we have done this for 2 years. And the crazy part and the unfortunate part for everybody listening is that we're not going to stop. And so you're going to have to continue listening to us. Actually, you don't have to. You can literally turn us off whenever you want. But we're going to be here. We're going to be around. And we appreciate your support. We would not be here without you. We get many messages on how we are impacting people, on how different people find information valuable. Hunter and I write these episodes truly to help support and inspire the younger generation. And honestly, guys, girls, we're inspiring the older generation too. We had somebody reach out to us, which has been posted on our socials. So if you haven't seen it, go back and look at it, who wants to get back into the sport industry simply because of what they heard from us. And so that is why we are doing this. Please share everything that you guys have. It allows us to grow. We appreciate you. We have grown a ton. If you have not been around and living under a rock, we are over 1,000 LinkedIn followers. We are creeping on 1,000 to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are starting to grow as well. So we appreciate you. We only grow because of you sharing. So thank you very much for doing that. Today, title's kind of fun. Not that hard to get ahead. You guys are like, oh yeah, cool. Not that hard to get ahead because you are ahead. No, I'm not, first of all. And second, it's not that hard to get ahead. This episode title actually came to us from a listener. So if you guys have ideas, if you guys have episodes that you want us to do that you think are valuable, let us know, because this came directly from them. So, show of hands, and I want you to raise them. Come on, raise them high. Show of hands. Who enjoys being around losers? Okay, everybody put your hands down. Who enjoys being around winners? Okay, 2 more. Who enjoys actually losing? And who enjoys being around winners and actually winning? That's what we're talking about today. Being around winners. Being around people who drive you to be better, right? That is what we are talking about today, because I want to call some people out. I want to call out the lazy people, and then we are going to dial in on the elite individuals. So if you are lazy, I'm coming for you today. If you're an elite individual, which is pretty much everybody that listens here, we're going to help dial in today. And we are going to help dial in because I've struggled with this as well. And so I'm not coming from a place of ignorance. I'm not coming from a place of not understanding the topic, but also not even from a place of like, I'm better than you. I'm coming from a place of, I want to help because I've gone through this and I've struggled with it as well. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about disliking people. We had the word hate in there, and I think hate's aggressive and might probably get canceled for saying it. So we're just going to go with dislike. The second is it's easy to get ahead, really easy to get ahead in life. The third point we're talking about today is creating an identity of a winner. I dislike people who do not want to win. It drives me absolutely nuts to be around individuals who consistently don't want to win. Have you guys ever thought about that? Have you ever been around somebody and they're just meh? They just play basketball for fun in the pickups. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with playing for fun. But they just pick up the phone a couple times and dial. They don't want to be great. They're just okay. Instead of intently studying for an exam, they're just like, yeah, I'll get a C. We're cool. I was at lunch today, actually, and a girl I was talking with, actually, I wasn't even talking with them because I was so appalled by the conversation and how it had nothing to do with life. And she was sitting there saying, I would never, ever go back to school to get my master's. I never went to class in school. I would never go back to school to get my master's because it was way too much work. I would never want to learn more. I'm not saying that you need to go back to school, but do you not want to win in life? What if a master's degree allowed you to get to a C-level position? What if a master's degree allowed you to do something that you were passionate about? You're going to take that completely off the table right now at 24 years old? No way. And I could passionately say that because I was that way. I was like, there's no way I'll ever go back to school. Now you get to understand people and be in rooms with people that are higher up, and the education and knowledge and articulation that they have. They all have high-level degrees of school. Most C-level execs are doing some sort of schooling or learning or knowledge as they grow. So get around people that want to win. Get around people that want to get better. People who move slow. People who don't have a plan. Kick them out of your life. Stop being around those people because it allows you to move slower. It makes you not have a plan. And if you have a plan and somebody doesn't want to be on time with that plan, sternly tell them, hey, this is not how I move. This is not how I work. I'm happy to have a conversation with you, but I'm in the middle of this 30-minute time block. I got to get work done, right? Why do we not have a plan? You're just lazy. That's why. You don't have the discipline it takes to create habits and processes to get better. You just let life come to you instead of being proactive. Do not be that person, and don't be around those people. Yes, I'm telling you to kick people out of your life. I have family members I just don't talk to anymore because they're negative. Family members that I love. I grew up on a farm. I'm a German dairy farm. You know how important family is? German dairy farm is like right behind the Italians, just without the mob. Just without like the whole blood thing or killing people or cocaine. Like that's pretty much German families. That's how close family is. Just right below the Italian mob. My best man's Italian, and I hope he doesn't listen to this episode because I just offended him and his entire family, who are not mob members, by the way. Who are you hanging around? And if it's not around people that don't want to win, why are you hanging around? Is it to make yourself feel better? Oh, you want to feel better? Is that why you're hanging around people who don't want to win? Because you want to win a little bit and they don't want to win at all, so now you look like the king? You look like the queen? What are you afraid of to get better? I'll be real with you. I think I'm real all the time here, most of the time. There's some things I have to filter because I want to have a relationship with my wife that is private and not always on camera. Here's a situation that I was afraid of. Because when we talk about getting better, most people listening want to get better. So then the question is, why are we hanging around people who don't? Right? Transparently, I was afraid of success. I was. People are like, oh, that's fun to say out loud. You were afraid of success. Like, good for you. No, really think about it. I was afraid of success because I never saw success growing up. And if I did, everybody who had quote unquote success or quote unquote wealth, because I think when people talk about success, they always equate it with wealth, which is not the case at all. Success does not mean wealth. It can if that's what success means to you, but it does not have to mean wealth. For me, everybody who had quote unquote success, I have a swear word on here because when I was writing this, I was very aggressive and I don't want to swear on the show. Everyone who had success was an ignorant son of a gun who had cheated on their wife or their husband. Their kids hated them, right? This is what you think of when you think of successful people. Oh yeah, they have a nice house, and they have a nice car, but their kids don't love them, and they've committed fraud 7 times and just got out of jail for arson because they, burned down their wife's house because they cheated on them, right? Like you think of the worst case scenario. And so for me growing up, I was afraid of success because that's what I thought it was. Getting into the world and looking at successful people, they're really tough to find that have it all in terms of family, faith, career, enjoying life, experiences. They're really tough to find because that's how hard life is. To have everything that you want is tough. But if you get around those people who want to win in every area of life, that makes you better. You have to look harder to find people like that because there's not a lot of them. And that's why you're here right now, is because you're not normal. If you're listening to me and like my content, you're not normal because I'm not normal. Right? Get around the most dialed in people, spiritually, family oriented, whatever is important to you. Get around people who are dialed in that area of life. Because there's no question that if you get around people who are dialed in, that they will not raise the bar for you. You are the sum of the 5 people you're around, and there is a reason for that. Just don't hang out with losers. How about that? You want me to simplify everything that I just said? Don't hang out with losers. Let's clip that one and put it on social media. I bet you people will love it. Get around people who raise the temperature in the room. We've talked about that before. If your thermostat is set at 75 and you get around a room of people who are set at 120, guess what? You might not get to 120, but you're going to raise the bar a little. We actually just got done recording an episode. Immediately, the lady who we were interviewing, she was sharp. Immediately, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to be better. I need to sit up straighter in my chair. I need to have more clear and concise questions because she came in here, rocked the first 3 minutes of the interview, and now I need to be sharp because I'm around her. And that's what happens. You get somebody who slouches in the chair, talks slow, repeats themselves, ums, likes, ands, uhs. I'm like, I can say like, and because they just did. And the bar gets lowered. Second point is it's easy to get ahead. And the reason it's easy to get ahead is because people are not consistent and life is just a numbers game. It's a numbers game. The more you do it, the better you're going to be at it. Plain and simple. That's it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And the more consistently that you do it, whatever it is, it could be the flute because you're really passionate about being a flute player. It could be dancing because you want to get into ballet. It could be basketball because you want to be a basketball player. It could be anything that you want. The more you do it, 2 things are going to happen if you do it consistently. 1, you're going to get better at it. That's pretty clear. But 2, you're going to outlast people. You're just going to outlast people. Because sometimes you're just the guy or the girl at the end of the day holding the rope. Famous quote from the now Chief Revenue Officer of the Carolina Panthers that I will never forget. He's the guy who changed the trajectory of my career by bringing me across the country. Sometimes you're just the guy at the end of the day holding the rope. It's not what you do in the first 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, but what you do in the first 6 years of your career. Guess what? In 6 years, you're going to be pretty far ahead if you do what you need to do consistently, right? You're not going to get ripped by doing 15 sit-ups. I think that's pretty clear, right? You're not going to be like, oh my goodness, I haven't worked out in 10 years. Guess what? Let me go do 15 sit-ups and I'm going to be shredded. That's absurd. So if that's absurd, if that's absolutely unheard of and you think it's asinine, why do we think we can practice ballet for 15 times and be a world champion? Why do we think we can write 3 songs and think we're an Emmy award-winning songwriter? I actually don't even know if songwriters get Emmys or if that's an Oscar or if they're even in those runnings. So apologize for my ignorance. That's not necessarily my topic of expertise. This is going to sound arrogant. And I don't want it to sound arrogant. I want to make a point. Right now, if you have not worked out and you start working out right now, you want to go to the gym. You want to get better. You listen to me and you're like, you know what? I kind of want to get better at life. 1, thank you for coming to the podcast. 2, I hope that you share your success with others, not because I want you to share my podcast, but because I think sharing your success with others brings more people along with you. If you start working out right now, you will never catch me. You won't. You can't catch me because I've been doing it for 15 years at a minimal 3 times a week for 15 years. Every single week. All 52 for 15 years. You can't catch me right now. But if we reevaluate in 10 years, you're going to be 10 in, I'm going to be 15 in. You can shorten the gap, and you can probably pass me. But right now, you'll never catch me because you don't have the consistency on it. So 2 things. 1, if you're the person from the front, don't stop. Don't wait for them to catch up to you. Kill them. Step on their throat. Be that person who is confident enough to walk in a room to say, I put 15 years into this. I'm better than you. That's okay. That's confidence. Where it crosses the line, where some people might be cringing right now, is the cockiness part of it. Depends on the delivery. But if you're in sales and you're at $100,000 and the next person's at $40,000 and they make a $20,000 sale, now they're at 60. Are you going to be like, you know what? I'll just hang up the phone until they get to 100. Yeah, I'll just whenever they get here, we're good. No. Step on their throat. Go sell another 100. Make it out of reach. Get it out of reach. That's how you become elite. That's how you grow. And it doesn't have to be stepping on everybody on the way up the ladder. But there's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition. And there's nothing wrong with having the mindset because of the work that you put in that you're the best that walked in the room. Right now, pretty much anybody listening could probably beat me in a 5K. Reason being, I haven't run 5K in 10 years. Most people can beat me. What I'm doing right now is training to run more. I can't be ignorant enough to think that I can outrun people right now. So if you're in a space right now where you want to get better at something, where you want to learn, where you want to grow, just go day by day. All you got to do is get out of bed, put your feet on the floor, and do that one thing today. Because if you're doing that in 10 years, you're going to get ahead. You're going to be ahead of the next person. A lot of people are looking outward to find success, what their title is, what they make, what their house looks like, what their car looks like. Just put your head down and go to work. Don't worry about all the exterior factors. Just put your head down and go to work. As a part of that, you know what I'm going to say next. I think you have a pretty good feeling that I'm a big fan of routines. Your morning routine right now is one of the most important things that you have. It is, because it sets you up for your day. I talked to a very high-level individual who owns a chain of pizza companies around the country. He said his morning routine includes talking with his wife. We were talking today on the phone. I'm like, mine doesn't. Is that something that I value? Probably. I'd never even thought about it until he said it. Maybe I want to work that into my routine. We pray for 30 seconds of prayer of gratitude every morning, but she's not awake, and by the time I get back to work, I just pick up and go to work. So maybe that's something that we change, because I do value talking to my wife before 6:30 p.m. every day. What do you value? Put that into your routine. If you're like, you know what, Tanner, I don't have a morning routine. Well, then that's your morning routine. That's your morning routine. I was going to go down a road that was very aggressive, and I'm going to skip because I've already called some people out, and I don't want you guys to get upset at me. So we'll just save that for another day. Third point I have today is to create an identity of a winner. You want to subconsciously create an identity that you are a winner, that you win. What you set your mind to, what you tell yourself to do, you complete. Every task you say you're going to wake up early, you get up early. That's creating a mindset of a winner. You say you're going to write 3 coaching plans for practice next week, and you write 3, you're a winner. It could be something as easy as you say you're going to cook dinner tonight and you cook dinner, you're a winner. Because subconsciously you're creating a neural pathway that tells yourself that you complete what you set your mind to. And that's what winners do. Something as simple as saying you're going to cook dinner tonight and you don't can turn into, I said I was going to get up at 6 and I'm not, to I thought I was going to complete 50 sales calls and I only completed 45. And you see how that can snowball downward. How do you create an identity of a winner? I want you to think of these two sentences. Okay? Get in the gym with me. I want you to visualize this. We're going to be a basketball player. We have practiced all year long. We have put blood, sweat, tears into this sport that we love. Okay? You with me? You in this? Are we ready? You have a really good season. A really good season. Everybody's clapping, cheering. You maybe win an award. Gets to the final game of the year. Championship game. The scenario that we all dream about. Okay? In this scenario, regardless of what position you ever played, in this scenario, we're all point guards. Okay? Dribbling down the court. Boom. 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 Clock ticking. Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. Down by 2. Screen set for you. You're rolling right. Unless you're a lefty, you're rolling left. Actually, in today's day and age, doesn't matter. Just create space. You're rolling whatever way your imagination takes you. Boom. Rolling away. Step back. I can do it in this chair if you're watching. Boom. Hezzy. Step back. Ball goes in the air. Clock expires. Okay? What emotions are we feeling right now? Where are you guys at? Where are we at? Ball goes in the air, down 2. Just took a 3-point shot. What do we want? Where does our emotional state take us immediately? What do we want to feel? We want to feel that shot going in. That's what nature wants us to feel. That's what dopamine wants us to feel. That's what we want to release. That's what our neural pathways want us to feel is the dopamine rush. That's why people like heroin. Because it feels great. That's why people enjoy intimacy with their married partners. Because it feels great. Yes, I just married heroin, intimacy, and a championship basketball shot together. Not a lot of people that can do that, I don't think. So, we'll just, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. We'll just leave it there. What do you want to feel when that shot goes in? Do you want to be a winner, or do you want that shot to rim out and we lose the game? Because that shot is not created in that moment. That shot was created 10 or 15 years ago when you started dribbling a ball. That was created when you were running wind sprints at 8 years old. That was created when you were shooting free throws in the dark in the rain. Right? So right now in your career, right now in your life, what feelings and emotions do you want to have in 10 or 15 years? And how can you create habits to start those today? Right? Obviously, we want to make the shot because winning feels good. And you know what? Winning, I heard this quote the other day. It actually was a while ago. The other day was just a simple lie. It was years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. Winning is more fun than fun is fun. Think about that. Think of when you have won before. Winning is more fun than fun is fun. Now, some people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. And some people are going to not agree with me, and then all of a sudden they're going to win a big deal at work, or their team's going to win a championship game, or they're going to see one of their mentees succeed, and they're going to be like, you know what? That crazy guy I listened to a year or two ago said winning is more fun than fun is fun. And actually, I have feeling that for the first time. Because when you win, when a friend wins, when we have somebody get into the sport industry because of our coaching platform, which currently we're at 27 people that we have directly placed into the industry, that is more fun than just having fun. Like impacting people's lives is where we want to be. So winning to us is impacting lives. That's fun. That's what Hunter and I get jacked up about. That's what our social team gets jacked up about, is hitting 1,000 followers on Instagram, because guess what? That's a win. It's all cool, fun, and dandy for people to see and like and comment the post. But when it translates to followers, when people actually share and our social team wins, that's fun. Here's some key qualities that we came up with. We have 7 of them that we came up with that creates an identity of a winner. Okay, ready for this? Self-discipline. How about we start out with the most difficult one and the one that nobody wants to hear about? Self-discipline. In the smallest things of life. That means not taking the second cookie off the plate. That means stopping after 4 drinks because you can't talk at 5. That means giving up the good things in life. People who are relationally deprived or relationally messed up, that means not going on a date with a toxic person, even though it's going to feel great. And you might feel lonely in the moment. That is self-discipline. Yeah, that one cut pretty deep. That's self-discipline. That creates a winner. The second is belief in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. I think some people believe my confidence comes across as cocky, and that's okay. I'm okay with that because I really don't care what you think about me. I believe that the preparation that I put in makes me one of the best in the business. And if I don't believe that, nobody else ever will. My clients will never believe that, and I'll never be good at what I do. Believe in yourself, and that does not come overnight, I promise you. I didn't know my dad ran a business or understand my dad's business until I was in college. That's 18 years. I lived on the property where my dad ran his business and did not understand that it's a business. So you want to talk about not believing in yourself? I promise you I was there. Believing in yourself is important. Affirmations about yourself. Telling yourself, I am confident. Yeah, it sounds cheesy. It works. After a good set at the gym, hey, great work today, girl. Great work today, guy. You're a killer. You go through the finish line. You just shot 100 free throws today, or you just threw 100 pitches against the wall today. Great work, girl. You just hit 100 volleyballs for fun at the end of your 1,000 volleyball workout. Great work. You go beyond and above. You're that type of person. Tell yourself that. Make yourself believe that, because subconsciously, if you create those neural pathways, they stick. There's a story of there's this road in Alaska, and in the fall time, the road is really muddy. Okay, it's really muddy, and all these Jeeps and trucks typically are in this area. They're all Jeeps and trucks, and at the end of the fall, everybody's making mud tracks, right? Winter comes and it's frozen for a very long time. In Alaska, remind you, right? So you're in Alaska with frozen tracks. Now, if you're visually looking at this, you have mud tracks that are 4, 5, 6 inches deep, and now they freeze over for 6 to 8 months. There is a sign at the beginning of those roads that reads, "Choose your tracks wisely, because you'll be in them for the next 100 miles. Because there's different tracks throughout the road. And once you're in them, you're not out for 100 miles. What mental tracks are you creating? What neural pathways are you creating in your brain? And do they lead to belief in yourself? If every time you miss that putt, you say, I'm a terrible putter. If every time you get a B on exam, you say, I'm an idiot. That's a neural pathway. That's a vote for the person you want to become. If every time you miss a putt, you say, that was not a good putt this time, that allows your brain to say, next one can be, because you're not putting an identity on yourself. And then when you do something great, you can identify yourself. I am a great putter because I just made it. I learned jump serving for the first time. I'm a great jump server. You get to subconsciously and intentionally create those paths, those mud paths. The third is perseverance. The fourth is passion, because you need passion to create this identity in yourself. Then you have work ethic, which obviously is important. That relays effort, which is part of the podcast name. Adaptability is important because in order to create an identity, you have to adapt your current identity. You have to. Unless you absolutely love your identity right now, which is great, just keep doing that. Keep digging that path further. You have to adapt where you're currently at. And the last one is commitment to learning. If you want to create an identity of a winner, you have to learn how to win. You have to. I texted one of my buddies today. I said, what's it cost to buy a private jet? He said, why? I said, well, I'd like to own one day, and I want to know how it works. And he laughed at the message and then didn't reply. And I thought that was kind of rude. But then I realized that my bank account has nowhere even near amount to support a private jet. But guess what? I want to learn what it's like to own and operate one of those things. Because I do want to own a plane one day, because I want to I do not want resources or lack of sitting on a commercial airplane to be a problem for my grandparents one day to get places. That's just a personal goal. I probably won't be there for 30 or 40 years, but guess what? I'm just going to stick my head down today and learn about it. Because now I don't actually have to buy one. The crazy part about this world, there are people out there right now that own private jets. So I don't need to buy one. I need to learn how it works. So if I can learn how it works and I can have the commitment to learning, I can now have conversations with people who own private jets. Because maybe they need a tax write-off and they need to run this thing for 40 more days this year. Guess what? I volunteer as tribute. So I have to learn how that works. Last point I have for you today. In order to become a winner, you have to prepare. With our CRO, if you do not come prepared to the first meeting you have with him, you will never have a meeting again with him. Never. If you do come prepared, he'll have meetings with you every other month. It's as simple as that. Prepare to be a winner. Prepare daily. Because sometimes you only have one chance. You only have one opportunity. So who are you? Tell yourself who you want to be and what type of person you want to be. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between the real world and what you're telling it to do. So why don't you control that and just tell it what you want? Right? I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. I enjoy creating this content for you. I enjoy taking time out of my wife's day and Hunter's day to give this content to you. Thank you so much for being here for almost 2 full years. We're going to do something special for 2 years. We also have Attitude Effort Results Sales Academy. If you're interested in sales, follow us on social media, because everything is going to be posted there. We are creating our own social media, Attitude Effort Results Sales Academy. We're going to bring in the top executives across the sport industry that you will have access to only and only through the Academy. I love you guys. Let's inspire others and continue to grow together.